Right, okay guys, welcome to another edition of where I take a look at computer and console magazines. This one we're going right back to 1983, summer of 1983. We're looking at personal computer games priced 85 pence, full listings for 6 popular micros, reviews on 22 exciting games. Get more out of your micro with our guide to add-ons. So let's take a wee look. Right, okay, let's see, and page 2, what is this? VIC-20, Commodore 64, BBC Spectrum, 2130, can you beat that? Take up the challenge of Postern's, what is that? Imaginations Unlimited. Shadowfax, fight the Black Riders whose touch is death. You must guide Shadowfax as Gandalf's swift white horse braves the dread. Ah, right, I can see now it's Gandalf, okay, yeah. Here's me thinking it was just a horse racing game. And what is that there? Snake pit. Imagine yourself in a snake pit. The snakes and their eggs must be gobbled up before the snakes. Blah blah blah. What is this? Got a good game as game. Got a good game as game idea. You mean as a game idea? Luke says it's really good. Send it to me soon. I'm testing lots more games for Postern. We're big enough to pick the best from a big range of games, so watch these pages for the very best in games. Write to me with your super scores too. Budding Luke, he is obviously the entrepreneur. There you go. That's how we rolled back in 1983. Never mind EA Sports. Send your games to Luke, and he will market them for you. That was what this industry was all about. Anyway, welcome to the first issue of Personal Computer Games, Britain's news magazine for microcomputer game enthusiasts. Yeah, there's been such a surge of interest in computer games recently that the problem facing most people is not so much finding enough games as deciding how to choose amongst the thousands of packages available. Yes, so what's inside games? That's the question we're asking. News, the latest information in games just released and those still being planned. Dragonalia comes to your screen and sing along a micro. Can't wait for that one. The life game, how Richard Jones challenged the competitive market of computer games and launched 3 successful companies by the time he was 17. Did he not do Interceptor micros? What page is that? Page 8, we shall find out. Competition, let your imagination run riot and win a computer that has been designed for game enthusiasts. Interesting. The newest British micros include a strong rival to the Spectrum and a very upgradable home computer. Would you buy one? Auric. And is that the Lynx, I think, possibly? Cactus, 6 popular games have been timed and frozen in mid-action. We take off the trimmings to show you what they're really like. Yes, okay, right, let's see here. Remember that advert, Hopper. That's, if I'm not mistaken, that looks very, very much like Frogger. Acorn Soft is the software division of Acorn Computers, the company that designed and built the BBC microcomputer. Here are 4 more exciting programs, all designed to get the most from your BBC Micro. Magic Garden. Yeah, it's a cassette based on Shirley Conrad's successful book. Yes, it's a problem-solving program which provides a computer beginner with instant answers to the questions as what to plant and where. I wonder if anybody actually used that for their gardening. Somehow computers and gardening just doesn't really go. Drafts in reverse. Yeah, we moan about games nowadays, but that was the kind of stuff that we had to do back then. So let's have a look at the charts. It doesn't actually tell you what system. First place was Zaxxon by Datasoft, Miner 2049. I'm guessing these are all Atari, Frogger, Sierra Online, Deadline, Zork 2 and 3, Temple of Apsai, had that on the C64, Zork, Choplifter, Suspended, Snooper Troops, Wizardry Panic Attack, sorry, Apple Panic I should say, by Broderbund, Castle Wolfenstein, my goodness, that's a game and a half. Yeah, Jumpman Jr., yeah, these are early games. English Software is proving to be one of the most prolific independent producers of software for the Atari. In June it announced no less than 11 new cassette games for the Atari 400-800. The programme includes Airstrike, Venus Voyager 2, Time Warp, Escape from Perilous,
Xenon, Raid Firefleet, Diamonds, Crazy Copter and Cave Runner. I don't remember any of these at all. What's this here? Softtech launched 6 new games at the beginning of June. 4 are for the Spectrum, 1's for the Auric and 1's for the Dragon. Amongst the new Spectrum games is Joust. I'm sure they acquired the full license agreement from Atari for that one. Written by 15-year-old Andrew Gleister. Firebirds is a shoot 'em up vertical game, while Megapede provides a very high quality version of Centipede. It was all just rip-offs. Pissed as this recently established Ultimate Play the Game sees itself as the most experienced arcade video game design team in Britain. Its members were some of the first to produce arcade games for the US and Japan. Yep, that is very true. We were unhappy working for someone else, says director Timothy Stamper, so we decided to set up our own company. Ultimate's aim is to produce a range of entirely original arcade quality home computer software. Its first offering, Jetpack, was released in May. Yeah, well, I think there's no one going to argue about that. They certainly went on to produce some amazing games. Now, what's this? Crash Microgames action. Spectrum Games by mail. Use this coupon today, no stamp required. By the time you've travelled to your nearest stockist, the games you can buy cost twice as much. Ordering direct from Crash Microgames. That's the same. That's exactly the same logo as a magazine. So was Crash originally just set up as a mail order company? Interesting. What's this? Camouflage Sinclair Pop. Who would have thought that Clive Sinclair could affect the pop music world? Chris Seavey and Pete Shelley are 2 musicians. Well, Pete Shelley was with the mighty Wah. Using a Spectrum, who would have thought it? Coming the screenplay of the book. Black Crystal Spectrum 48K 6-part adventure. Newcomers to the software market now include Virgin, the multi-million-pound music business. Virgin is launching 8 games initially there for the Spectrum. Look at the way they... right, okay, now I was going to say the grammar. Yeah, launching 8 games initially, and that's a new sentence. Okay, that's just me being Mr. Picky. Now, am I right in thinking, is this Interceptor software? At 17, Richard Jones has launched 3 successful companies. Deirdre Boyd asked him why he chose the competitive computer game market. He's the sole proprietor of 2 successful computer-aided companies which are building up solid profits, blah blah blah. There we go, Interceptor Micros. He's even got a nice t-shirt, a nice polo shirt. Bloody hell, that is the very first game that I ever played. And I actually featured that game in a Donkey Kong video that I put out earlier on. In fact, that was a couple of days ago. That's fine. It's an absolute abysmal game. That's quite funny. So he might be a very successful businessman, but some of his games are bloody awful. Now, if I remember rightly, I'm sure, yeah, here we go, he actually worked with Jeff Minter. Jones launched the now famous Lamasoft software company when he was 16 from the takings generated by the video cassette shop. It was a whirlwind affair. I decided to form a partnership with programmer Jeff Minter, he said. I funded it and Jeff was to program the games. The way I met Jeff is that I bought, or rather I ordered and built a ZX81. I built mine before Jeff did. He started with a Z8. He was good at writing programs. I was interested in games. I was a huge freak at that stage. I saw Jeff's potential. We were hobbyists. Then we bought a VIC-20 each. He really started shining. He was very much into it. We went to an exhibition, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think does it say there he'd been placing adverts for programmers. They came in with some extremely good demonstration tapes which he wanted to market, but Minter refused to deal with them, wishing to remain Lamasoft's sole programmer. The split was inevitable. Yeah, so they eventually split. But yeah, that very, very first game that I ever owned. That's actually, I need to read that article in full. I'm not going to read it just now, obviously, but money cannot buy programming skills, but it helps. It buys equipment to develop those skills.
What's this? Softtech, Galaxians. I mean, look at that. They didn't even attempt to change the names. Joust, Galaxians, although it's actually called Galaxian. Robon, I'm guessing that's a Robotron. Dragon 32, is that the name of the game? Dragon 32, I'm guessing it must be. 12-star computers, BBC, missile base, £9.95. Dam busters, excuse me, can you stop them? Protect your dam from wave after wave of enemy bombers, different skill levels, stunning graphics and sound. I would probably argue that it's not stunning graphics. I mean, look at the price of that, £15. That was back in 1983. I didn't even, well, I just about earned £15. So that was a whole week's wage for me to buy a game like that. Personal computer show, oh goodness me, that takes me back. I went to a couple of PCW shows, it was in Earl's Court. The PCW show is Britain's most popular micro event, hardly surprising with over 200 exhibitors showing an exciting range of micros, software and peripherals. I enclose my business card and a cheque for £2. Blimey, if only, eh? Program Control Guardians, is this some typing game, is it? Bambi software, how can you pass up a good program? Well, we couldn't, so we are now able to offer you good quality programs for the following computers: Dragon 32, Spectrum, TI-99, 4A and ZX81. No nonsense guaranteed. If these games are pished, then return for a full refund. What the hell is that? Beat the original software houses at their own game and write an original graphic adventure. I'm trying to see what computer that is. Is that an MSX or something, possibly? I don't know what that is. Ah, see. Is that, I mean, that's the Sword M5. That's what I've got. I've actually got one of these, believe it or not. Yeah, that's the Sword M5 computer, which I've got. Yeah, you know what? I recognise the controllers now. Don't have any games for it at all. Right, boosters. Peripherals can boost your micro's powers and your fun. Tory Harrington has scoured the shops for you. Great joystick that. What on earth is this? The Torch Z80 disc pack. Oh, Atari 810 disc drive. Mysterious adventures for BBC microcomputers written in ultra-fast machine code. You knew that if it didn't say that, then it was written in BASIC. Join a growing band of adventurers who are enjoying these absorbing and stimulating programs. Yeah, of course they were. Norbreck, there you go, that's just beside Norbreck Castle where the play events are held. The Hobbyist is a memory storage device for the BBC. It was like a spare part for a Hoover. The Securitat anti-device theft device, I should say. Competition Pro, yep, great joystick that. The Microaid case. Right, useful addresses, blah blah blah. Acorn user exhibition, Hammersmith. How much? £2 a ticket. That seemed to be the going rate back then, or £1 for children. Slot mutant herd into your VIC-20 and all of a sudden plutonium crazed mutants will try to eat you alive. Ah, Thorn, was that Thorn? Yeah, Thorn EMI, I remember these. I always thought the boxes looked really nice. God, that is absolutely horrific, that looking. Look at it. That's terrifying. Try fighting these with your bare hands. I'd rather not, if that's okay, Gov. Mysterious Adventures, the Golden Baton. Ultra fast machine code. Preston. That's when there was literally companies all over the UK. Now there's very few. The figures on the Rivals departure board. What on earth is that a game? I've got no idea. No, it must be. Yes. Thoughts? This 1,000-fold magnification of a silicon chip is actually divided into 16. Bloody hell, puzzles for high, medium and not so low IQs for Mensa. Yeah, these magazines, they had a bit of everything. You know, at last a joystick that works, you having a laugh. I have got one of these for the BBC, and it is absolutely awful. It's an analog stick. It is the worst thing. If you imagine the movement, that stick moves so much. Bloody awful. Analog software. Frog Run. All one word. 3D time take. Crazy Kong. Look at the god awful graphics. Never played it in the. I played Kong on the Commodore 64, but I think that was before they had released excuse me, it for the C64. The cheapest RAM packs in the world. £40 for a 32k RAM pack. 32k? Ah, Richard Software. Richard, what was it called again? Richard Shepherd Software. What is this? We've picked the best, forget the rest. Well, Transylvanian Tower is a pile of absolute poo. But you know what, I guess 1983 we didn't have so much stuff to choose from. Jetpack, yeah, that's a great game. Yeah, you can see they're quite dull, the magazines back then, but you know what, it was still exciting for us because it was all new, and being able to read about them was great. Now that is a lovely looking computer, the Lynx. I always wanted one of these. Always wanted one, never got it. Now my mate Neil actually owns one of these, and he keeps promising to dig it out of his loft, and we're going to do an unboxing. The appearance of the Auric One has demonstrated once again the almost comical inability of British micro manufacturers to launch a machine properly. Funded by British car auctions and using the considerable experience of Tangerine Computers, the Auric is aimed at the fastest growing sector of the micro market, the sub £200 computer. Well, oddly enough, the Auric went on to be fairly successful. The computer's Lynx died a death. Does it actually tell you what? So where's it talking about the Lynx? Anyway, let's have a look at this. What's this? Solo software, adult games. Where's the adult games about? That's what we want to know. The Tombs of Karnak. No hidden extras. The Lynx, a proper keyboard. The Lynx is enjoyable to use. It can produce impressive visual effects easily and has a good range if useful if slow functions. Yeah, it was a game. It was a computer. It just died in its arse. I think they're probably worth quite a bit of money because they're so rare. Ball by Ball test match simulation for the 48K Spectrum. Ball by Ball is based on the original test match program still available for the ZX81. Yes, Dragon 32, Dragon Trek, Pepper's Game Pack. What will it cost? 48k Lynx. Christ, look at the price of that. 40k, 225 quid. That was a lot of money back then, but that was pretty much on a par with the C64. In fact, there you go. Atari 8400 was 145 quid. That's not bad actually. Commodore 64 call for new low price. Vic 20, 140 quid. The Sword, £189. There's the Auric there, there's a Spectrum. Jupiter Ace, £89. You'd get about 400 quid for one of these now. Yes, the Lynx casing is neat and stylish. Ah, here we go, Mr. Chip Software. I was talking to Mr. Sean Southern just a few weeks ago actually. Ski Sunday, I think that was one of his games. I think he did virtually all the games. Yeah, basically he wrote the games and sent them to this Mr. Chip, who then published them. What's this? Window on Another World. Cruise through deepest reaches of space in a life and death struggle to decide the fate of the galaxy. Why can't all software come up to the standard, asks a computer in video games. Ah, Salamander Software, I remember them. Great way, what's that great new software deal? Try and buy. Yeah, I'm just looking at the price of games. Spectrum, £8. No, besides that's the BBC Micro, £11.50. Like I says, people complain about the price of software now, but you know, software now is so much cheaper than what it was back then. You know, a lot of games were £5, £5.50.
Crazy Kong, £5.50. Yes, this is how you bought most of your games, because you know this was before the sort of big stores started stocking stuff. Sinclair owners, read this now from OCP. Dare you face the Turk? The original Turk was an 18th century automation, a life-size mechanical figure resplendent in Turkish costume and seated behind a wooden cabinet on which a chessboard and piece. In other words, it's chess. Stop trying to sell it like some kind of action adventure. Duckworth Personal Computing. Everybody in Iran had a software company. The Auric 1 program book. You can run an obstacle race, save a maiden from the dark night, protect cities from attack. Basic programming for the BBC. Spire Computing. Kipper Williams plays around. Games and puzzles from Shiva. 4 Church Lane, Nantwich. Games to play in your Spectrum, written by Martin Wren Hilton. Yeah, together the Auric 1 Micro and IGK software bring you the dawning. What's really nice is that is in colour. That would automatically catch your eye. Everything else, all black and white, colour. You're going to automatically look at this. That looks quite nice there. What's that called? As Fleet Commander in the Xenon Space Academy, you must protect your home planet Radon from the Ards, Paratrons and the Zordon Battlestar. Star Trek. That was one of the most common games that you used to type in. Captain Kirk Enterprise, we've trapped inside a vintage 1983 Welsh computer. Scotty, can you beam us up? I'm sorry, Captain. Yeah. Don't even know what this is. Frogger, is this a review of the game? Ah, it is actually. Oh, there we go. In fact, this is a must for Star Trek fans who have entered the Dragon. I beg your pardon. It neatly combines adventure game style text formats with some arcade action involving a Dragon joystick. A good game for both beginners because it's challenging, and for experts because it is so complicated. You will spend a long time trying to figure out all its angles. So I wouldn't say that. If that's the case, I wouldn't say it was designed for beginners. So what is this? This is Frogger, and this is on the ENF software BBC. Yeah, there we go. What does it say? This is a good implementation of the classic amphibian video game. The controls could perhaps be more responsive than they were, but a little time spent getting the feel of the keys should solve the problem. There were more Frogger games than you could shake a stick at back then. Up, up and away. Video Verdict. A nice simple game without too much violence. Something to quietly get frustrated with when you've had up to your eyeballs with Star Raiders, Space Invaders and Pac-Man. Never played Pac-Man. Yes, Cactus. It would help if they, I mean, you know, why have they got, they've got like 3/4 of the pages a drawing, and you've got wee tiny little screenshots with a wee bit of text. Why not have the text over this? Because that there tells you nothing about the game. It's just a picture of a balloon, you know what I mean? It'd be nicer if they actually had the screenshots bigger, so you could actually see what you're looking at instead of trying to gawp. Flight! £21. Oh! Bloody hell, that was £22. £22 back in 1983 was a lot of money. It really was. Like I says, people complain. Hungry Horace, there we go. A Spectrum classic. It's a pretty safe bet that the spiders will regret the day they met Horace, and we will soon see the lovable blue blob next episode. Yeah, it would certainly be better to have a bigger screenshot. Number 1 for fun, Supersoft. I've done a video all about them. Tank Attack Mangrove. That really inspires you to want to buy it. Mangrove. Scramble. Al Grey. Al Grey software. Obviously the guy whose name was Alan or something. Alan Grey. Genmon. Guide your green spotlight through the genie's mind and implant thoughts directly with this machine code. Oh god, there were some interesting games. There we go. Is that the... yeah, it is indeed Cascade. Don't miss this incredible offer. 50 games for £9.95. and they were all pish. And even the guys that made them admitted they were pish. Basically anyone that's sent in a game, it was put onto that. Postal bargains for big game hunters. So again, at least it's CDS Microsystems. They were fairly successful. I think they did Steve Davis Snooker some 3-4 years later. Game Freaks, if you want joystick with us. In 3 months, our quick-shot joysticks have become the best sellers for the VIC and Atari home computers. We now have a range of conversions allowing you to use a quick-shot for your BBC Oric and Spectrum. Loch Ness Monster. For years now, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster has been in existence. There is said to be a whole clan of them. Well, I don't ever remember hearing that one. I think you've just made that bit up, lads. Arcade computers. Yeah, you can see here it's virtually just advert after advert. And here's a backgammon game if you could be arsed to type it in. Yeah, people did do that. I never had the patience. I did a couple and that was it. Audiogenic. Now they actually lasted quite a long time. They made quite a few games. My boys could bite through anything unless these came along. That's not just been hand drawn. Yeah, you can see here that this magazine, I mean, it just demonstrates that it was a cottage industry back in 1983. Everything was so much more simpler. Wasn't better, but it was certainly a lot replacing the for Atari users. Efficient chips. Wessex Soft. 16 Eastlake Avenue, Parkstone, Poole, Dorset. James Software. Yes, I wonder how many of these games are actually sold. Given that most of them disappeared, not many. Now here's a Silica Shop. They were a huge company back in the 80s and early 90s. The Aquarius, god awful machine. Atari 400, that was a nice one. Atari 2600, £49. Vectrex, blimey, 149 quid. You wouldn't even be able to get one, Brian. You wouldn't get one second hand for that. ColecoVision, £147. That was a great joystick. The Wico made some of the best joysticks in my opinion. I had one called The Boss, but I remember using this one in the computer shop that I used to go to. The Spectrum Games Companion is the latest addition to the series and aimed at the games player and programmer alike. Engine failure on the BBC. BBC Breadline plugs into user port and brings out all the connections to wire sockets. Yeah, it was a mixture of games, hardware, type-ins, you name it. I mean, there's Interceptor micros. I mean, look how god awful these adverts were. Black and white, they look terrible. Alright, I know this has been scanned in, so it probably didn't look quite so bad, but that was the very first. I bought that game there, Crazy Kong and Frogger 64. Now to be fair, Frogger 64 wasn't actually too bad. Crazy Kong was awful. Speech and music for the ZX81 ZM Soundbox. Bloody hell, the amount of different peripherals that you got. Tansoft, Auric Munch. Any guesses what kind of game that's going to be? Auric Mon, House of Death. Competition Pro, yeah, again, that's a great game. Could you be the next Brian Clough? That just dates this magazine so much. Video Genie aircraft launcher. Auric Software. Superior Software. Ah, see now that these would catch my eye. If I saw these, I'd be like, I want that. You know, looks nice. What computer is that? The Spectrum, was it possibly? Does it tell you? Oh, it's the BBC actually. Frogger 32. Yes, very nice. And there's Ultimate. Again, you can see that the companies that generally made it later on, they would spend extra money on getting nice artwork. Jetpack and Pist. Is it Pist? There's Lamasoft, so I take it all back. I mean, Lamasoft are obviously still going even now, which is testament, excuse me, to their great games. Blitzkrieg, excuse me. Excuse me, Turbo Flex Centipede. Yeah, still making games somewhat 30 years on. If your software is not in the menu, they won't be ordering it. Screen Scroll Great Britain Limited. There's obviously some sort of £11.90. I mean, look, there's the Auric, £4.50. BBC, £11.90. They're obviously cashing in, thinking, well, BBC owners had lots of money, which is possibly true, but it doesn't mean you should be paying all that more money. Spectrum, yeah, just Froggy. How many different Frogger games were there? Vic 20 owners. Liversoft. Have I heard of them? Don't think I have. Ah, there's the Richard Shepherd software. I was talking about that. These are all actually written in BASIC. I think they actually sold fairly well, but they're bloody awful. But again, you know what? They were a product of its time, you know. You've got to bear that in mind. Motor Mania, I loved that game. It was a copied game, but I loved it to bits. Car driving games are sufficiently testing to be a challenge while not being as frustrating as aircraft simulations. Choose one of 9 levels in difficulty. You steer your car around a track, which includes motorway sections, ordinary roads and dirt track sections. You'll meet hazards including slick patches, avalanches of boulders on the way. You have to pass other road users, local ambulance as well. That was a great wee game actually. Quite enjoyed it. Probably wouldn't stand up well now, but back then it was good fun. A Vic 20 RAM pack, £30. 3D Monster Maze, there you go, new generation software. That's an amazing game. If you've never actually seen that game run, you need to check it out. It's an amazing game for what, considering, you know, the computer was actually running on. Screen Scroll, Eastern Front, now that's always a war game of some sort. On Atari, I mean look at the price of it, £24, 24. There's one there, £25. I mean that's 1983 for God's sake, you know, so never ever complain about the price of hardware when you look at what we paid back then. Buffer Micro Shop, software from all the best suppliers over the counter. Craft joysticks. Ah, Microgen, there we go. I didn't even realise they were still going at that point. Mad Martha. Pie Mania. Oh dear, there's Football Manager by Addictive Games. It should be stressed that this is not a short game. There are 15 games in a season plus various rounds in the FA Cup. To get from Division 4 to League Championship, it's going to take you a week of playing every day. Yeah, great game that. I still play it on the on my phone. Screen Scroll BBC Vic 20, that was audiogenic. Financial games, oh dear, you are PM and Chancellor of Great Britain. That's obviously meant to be Margaret Thatcher. Simon Hessel's software. Vic 20 games, software from America. Galactic software. I just love some of the names that they came up with. A lot of the names they used to have back then was like their name backwards. If you look at a lot of the early games and if you read it backwards, it'll be like Michael or something. Yeah, but I mean, you know, 30 quid for a game in the Atari 800. I can't remember them being that expensive, but just goes to show you. Anko software, there you go, who went on to do Kickoff. Probably there, or is that? Ah, you know what, that's not the original Anko. Coat Bridge, that's not far from me. That was obviously, of course, Anko were derived from analog software, so no, that's a different Anko. Presumably they had gone bust before the Anko that we know and love sort of came to fruition. Balabi Games, they made some of the worst games ever for the Spectrum. ZX81. Index, Star Trek, Beam Me Up, a bargain Scotty. Database, PFS report. Afterthoughts, and finally an advert from Quicksilver. Nice coloured advert. So anyway guys, that is it. That is, what was it, Personal Computer Games I think it was called. That's a very very early slice of Video Games magazine. I mean it just, you know, it just lets you see this. It was a cottage industry back then. There was no rules or regulations back then. Everybody was making it up as they went along, and it's easy to be critical of software back then, but it was the very beginning, and like anything new, it's always going to be pretty basic to kickstart things off. But anyway, listen guys, I hope you enjoyed watching it. I always enjoy making these videos. It's always interesting to go through and read them and reminisce. If there is a particular magazine you would like to see featured in this feature, just put your comments below, and as usual guys, thank you very much for watching.